Back in the day when the radio played and CDs spun our nights away. From grunge to grooves and R&B, 95 was the place to be. We're digging deep, 1 week at a time. Every album, every rhyme. It's more than music, it's a vibe. Come with us, let's take that ride. 52/1995. We're bringing that year back alive. From basement tapes to billboard highs, rewind the sound, relive the drive. Oh, 52/1995. Drop the needle, feel that jive. 1 year, 1 track at a time. Dive, yeah, let's dive. Spinning loud, feel the flash. Britpop dreams and alt rock crash. Hip-hop truth, electronic night. Every beat still burns so bright. 52/1995. It's not just songs, it's a time capsule dive. Talking tunes that shaped our lives. Tune and turn up and ride that high, yeah. 52/1995. Weekly drops, we keep it live. Let's rewind the vibe. One album every time.
My bad.
I'm like, I am muted. Well, hey everybody, welcome in to 52/1995, your live music conversation podcast, where we dive deep into the music of 1995. This is our first expansion into the 52 universe from our sister podcast, 52/1995 Movies. I am your host, Alyssa, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Cody. Cody, how you doing today?
I'm good. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a minute, and for those who are out there, thank you for rolling with the punches and switching dates on us. Usually we're here on Tuesdays, but we're here on Thursdays today because we have jobs too. So life happens. But if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome in. Thank you for being here. We're so glad you are here. Just so you know, each week, 52 weeks in a year, we are going to explore one different album from the year 1995 for its 30th anniversary. We're going to dive into important releases, maybe some less important releases, discuss them in detail. And I'm going to chat with my guest here about their thoughts and experiences with the music. Now we are doing a different theme or a different genre each month. And for the month of May, this month is pop/dance music. And today's album is Timeless by Goldie. So Cody, before we jump into the album, I want to ask you, what is your experience with Goldie or this album? Have you heard it before? Is this brand new to you? What's up?
This one is completely new to me. I've never heard of Goldie. I am not really hip to dance music, especially dance music of like the '90s, by any means. So this is completely new to me, something I've never experienced. So definite first time listen across the board for me.
And this is such an interesting um, subgenre of dance music because it is specifically drum and bass, as well as considered jungle. Like jungle is it? I did not know this until doing some research. This what Goldie does is considered jungle music. Like that is the genre or sub genre of dance. So it's very percussion heavy. Um, and I agree. I have not had experience with Goldie either. I'm also pretty much a novice to the dance music genre. So this was kind of a first for both of us then.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's you learn a lot. I think we covered this. I don't know when I said this statement, but it's like you're one of those people that say I like everything, like I like all music, and
Mhm.
then you find out that maybe you don't like all music.
This one might not be for you, and that's
Maybe,
okay.
maybe not. I mean, I get it, but maybe it isn't for me.
And that's okay, and that's why we do this. This is and this album in particular came up in a lot of, again, doing research for what were the big releases of 1995, not just in the United States but globally. And this one came up time and time and time again, to a point where I was like, how have I not heard
Hmm.
of Goldie before, or the genre, or any of these songs? And then I listened and I was like, you know what, this is a sub genre. This is underground. This is not for the masses. It's for a specific group of people, and that specific group of people really likes this.
And it's definitely something. What I read was like this is the one I saw, like bet one of the best albums of '95.
Yep.
This is obviously one of the 1,001 albums to hear
Yeah.
before you die. Um, it's considered like one of the best dance albums of all
Hmm.
time. So I'm learning. If anything, I'm experiencing things I never would have like been drawn to.
And this is something that I've thought of, in post of listening to this, and not necessarily really being drawn to it. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it by any means, but again, this is not, we're also not European. I feel like, and
Mhm.
Goldie is from the UK. This genre of music is very, very prominent in the United Kingdom, in Europe, way less so here in the United States. So I think there's that cultural disconnect as well. But I think part of it too, and this is something that you and I have discussed with movies and books, is and this is, it's just another form of entertainment, right? That when you see something so often, um, when you get back to the original, the first to do it, it's like, oh, well, this all sounds the same. It's like, no, it was groundbreaking for the time. I always use Mary Shelley's Frankenstein as an example.
Mhm.
The phrase "it's a dark and stormy night" is a trope at this point. It is a cliche, but in Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, she's the one who coined and created the term. It was a dark and stormy night. Like that is from her. But years later, so removed from it, we read that and we go, oh, it's a cliche because that's all we know it as.
Mhm.
I think that may have had an impact on us listening to this album, because this album, from the research I've done, from looking into it, was very groundbreaking in terms of the dance scene, what he did with percussion, I mean, it was referred to as a symphony in um, multiple reviews. It had a lot of really great public reception, not a lot of commercial success, but again, for the people who this was made for, they loved it. And I think, again, the first of their time, you're like, oh wow. But now, this is a 30-year-old album. We're way more saturated with dance music, or even I think of the song Sandstorm. Like that was really hot and
Yeah.
popular in like 2010, 2011, like the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And um that one song in particular kind of popped off. I think about the chain smokers as they're not necessarily in the dance genre, but they're certainly doing a lot with bass and percussion. And that is a more commercialized listen. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe like because I'm listening to songs, I'm like, yeah, they're good, but I don't think that they're groundbreaking. But if we sit back and we go, oh, this was 1995. This was groundbreaking for 1995. But we see it so much more today that it just maybe falls to the wayside a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that a lot, and I think that there's so many more names that come out from the dance genre or EDM or
Yeah. Sophie Tucker, we like to
electronica.
talk about
Yeah, we
them.
talk about Sophie Tucker. Yeah, um, and I feel like this genre of music has like you think about rock and roll and you're like, okay, this is pop rock, this is punk rock, this is pop punk rock, this is like we have subgenres, but there you could I think you'd find more similarities between all the genres of rock music than you might find between all the subgenres of dance music.
Yeah. Well, and just the fact that again, this month is a very strange month. There's a lot of throwing things. I was like, I had a hard time finding like popular pop, quote unquote, pop music
Hmm.
from 1995 because it wasn't necessarily the genre that was the most like R&B was really popular,
Right.
country was getting really popular, like, and then worldwide dance music. So I was like, you know what, let's put pop and dance together. So in this month thus far, we've talked about Mariah Carey, Bjork, and now Goldie. And these are three completely different albums, like
Yeah.
completely. Even Bjork was different in the sense of like had a little bit of commercial success, not a ton, um, in terms of the United States, we'll say, and especially compared to Mariah Carey. And she, took big swings and did kind of some strange stuff, but like from an artistic point of view, I really liked it. We both kind of were like, we were impressed by it. Here, we're like, this is a big swing in a completely different direction. How are
Mhm.
these three albums in the same month? So it's weird and wild how wide the dance genre can be.
Yeah, and I'm still not like even some of the stuff that we've mentioned, like a Sophie Tucker or Moby and Fat Boy Slim and some of the other people that I kind of associate with like house music or EDM or electronic or all this
Mhm.
stuff. Like I'm still not like over the moon for them, but there are people out there that are so into this kind
Yeah.
of music and like,
And I think a good comparison too is jam band music. Like
hmm
if we're thinking of another genre where it is very like sound focused, we don't get a lot of lyrics, we get like kind of riffs or kind of going off, and we get these really long songs that are just instrumentals, not
hmm
words. And we see that here. This is like the dance version of jam band. Um, not a lot of lyrics, not a lot of words, just mostly instrumentals. And I also think too, it's part of the experience.
yeah,
Like I'm never gonna sit and listen to jam band like for like even getting into Dave Matthews. Like I don't dislike I like Dave Matthews. But I'm not really looking to listen to him in the car or
hmm
but if you put me at a Dave Matthews concert or a Fish concert, I'm not gonna say no. Like that is part of a experience, right? The
right,
live music, the improv of it all, the crowd. I have a feeling that this isn't the same space. That again, we are listening to dance music, dance, a physical motion that you do with your body in a group of people at an underground club, in this case. And we're sitting there just listening to it in the car so with our headphones. It's a very we're not experiencing the music in the way I guess it was intended to be experienced.
yeah.
I listened to the album while mopping the entire house. I will say, great background song music for mopping. But I was physically moving my body, even if it wasn't dancing. I think it maybe like there might be some truth. I want to say science behind it, but it makes a little bit more sense that maybe this would be more appreciated, like I said, in those spaces because we think about house and EDM. Those aren't things that you and I are like really into. We can
hmm
appreciate it. We do really like Sophie Tucker. But like we're not going to Electric Forest. We're not going to those multi-day festivals to experience house music.
Yeah. And I don't know if I will. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be the album that changes my mind or anything.
Yeah,
When I was listening to it, I was obviously I was like where I had listened to it a little bit. I listened to it in the car. That was very hard to do.
yeah.
Um listened to it while I was working. I just kind of sat back and listened to it, but like the whole time to me, and maybe it's because it isn't very lyrical. There are some lyrics in these songs. I didn't pick out any by any means, but there are some lyrics in these songs, but like it just feels some of it, and what I enjoy, and I'm a movie guy, is that some of it feels a little bit cinematic to me.
Hmm.
And you could put some of this music behind a movie, and it portrays, it could be a dance, a party scene, or it could be
Yeah.
a chase scene. I could see that very easily. Uh, when we come to like recommendations and things, I might have a little bit more to say about that. But that's kind of the vibe I was getting with it. And I wasn't so much like, I'm not a dancer by any means. You're the dancer. So but I didn't, none of this made me want to move my body or anything. I honestly, I was just like trying to keep up with it. It just seemed
Hmm.
so frenetic and fast that I was like, I want
Yeah.
something like, I think I know what I like about the dance music that I do like, or the EDM, or what I don't. Again, I struggle with the genres and everything. And I have a friend that has done DJ work, and he knows all the differences, and he could tell me everything about like each one and why they're different. I have no idea what I'm listening to, um, but I know what I like,
Hmm.
and I appreciate it. This ain't for me, but
That's okay, and that is okay. And I will say too, getting into like the fun facts, the all about the album. And I, for those out there who listen along, I deeply apologize for choosing this out. I don't apologize for picking the album. I apologize for not reading how long the album was before choosing it.
well, I think
Because
there's even some stuff around that. How long the album really is, because like
true.
Spotify has it as like, here's the 14 tracks for this, and then if you
Yep.
look at the track list on like Wikipedia or anything, it's like, well, this is what it was on the cassette, and this is
Yeah.
what was on the CD, and this
Hmm.
is what was on the vinyl, and they're all different.
Right. So the I believe what was on Spotify was what was released in the United States.
Okay.
And the last two tracks on the album are remixes of a single that was released prior to the album. But that single was popular enough that they did these two remixes and they stuck them on the end of this album. So technically, the last two songs, I think, would not appear on the cassette,
Hmm.
but they were popular enough, or or in the United States, they did appear on the cassette. So I think that is from my understanding. I could be very wrong, but
Yeah.
yes. But in total, these 14 songs were an hour and 53 minutes and almost 2 hours of music, which is not a bad thing. I think the only one that would come close to this length of album was um the musical review we did earlier this year.
Oh
That was
yeah.
just it was a review. It was a song after song after song, and it was about an hour plus, hour and a half ish. What was it? Smoky Joe's Cafe. I was like, what was it
Hmm.
called?
I
Smoky Joe. This was longer than that. This was longer. This is the longest album we've had thus far. It might be the longest album of the year. I don't know. I just picked the albums. I didn't look at any of them ahead of time, other than was it from 1995 and was it popular? So yeah, so if you're listening along and you're like, what the heck, Alyssa? Why'd you pick a 2 hour album? I didn't mean to.
That's all
I
right.
didn't
This
didn't
is
realize either.
I mean, this is what's on, like you said, like there are lists of 1995
Lists.
that were like, this is it. Like, this is one of the best albums. How can you not put it on there?
Yeah, exactly. And it again, it entered the UK charts at number 7. It charted in Sweden and New Zealand a little bit, but like this is considered groundbreaking in the dance space, in the jungle music space, in the drum and bass, which I didn't realize drum and bass was a genre. I just assumed that that was instruments. It's like,
No
no, the
idea.
drum and bass is a subgenre of dance music. So, and that's what this album is considered: jungle and drum and bass. A lot of percussion going on.
A lot of percussion.
Or you want to hear some fun facts, some info about Goldie, the artist, as well as the album?
Please do. Enlighten me.
Or yeah, so because I think it's a pretty an interesting person for sure. He was initially gained exposure from his work as a graffiti artist. So, and has name dropped Banksy's name. So this guy knows, in theory, claims to know who Banksy is, and said his name was Robert. So, like, that accidentally, casually dropped that in an interview at some point. So he's in the graffiti space, and he released singles under a pseudonym. I believe it's, and I'm deeply sorry for not being able to pronounce it. Rufige Crew. Rufige Crew, I believe it's Rufige. Rufige Crew was his pseudonym that he released some singles under, but he was specifically introduced to breakbeat and jungle music by his girlfriend at the time, DJ Chemistry, spelled exactly like it is on the song in the album. So that song on the album is dedicated to her. Eventually they did break up, and she died in a car accident in 1999, but she is the one who got him into this type of music and really inspired him to put this album out. Again, he was and under his name, I mean Goldie. It was, again, a pseudonym for a while, and then he's like, nope, I'm going to come out, I'm going to do this breakbeat and jungle music under the name Goldie. So this is his debut album too. For it to be considered groundbreaking as it is as a debut, that's very impressive. I will give my props there. So I said Timeless is the debut album, widely regarded as groundbreaking in the history of drum and bass music. Now, I do have a fun fact calling back to last week, and I don't know if this is a fun fact, it's an interesting fact. So in 1996, Bjork and Goldie dated. They were involved romantically together. Interestingly, so Bjork dated Goldie. She also dated a member of the band Massive Attack. I don't think we're talking about. Are we talking about Massive Attack this year? I don't think so. But
I don't think so either. I've talked about Massive Attack before, and how trip hop, and how I was like,
yes,
not really. I'm not a big fan of.
Yes.
Of
so
trip hop.
She dated Tricky from Massive Attack, and then she dated Goldie, and both are black men. And she had a fan who was obsessed with her in a not great way, and was angry that Bjork, a white woman or Icelandic woman, was dating black men. So he decided to send her a book in the mail that, when she opened it, would spray sulfuric acid in her face and either disfigure and or kill her. That was the plan. And he put it in the mail, and then, amongst other things, decided to commit suicide. And his body was found before the book got to Bjork. So Bjork was saved. She's still around today. But that all happened while she was dating Goldie in 1996.
Jesus.
I know. I was like, I remember last week when I said when Bjork wasn't really involved in a lot of drama and we didn't really know a lot about her life. Maybe that was up till 1995. 1996 sounded like a wild year for her.
Wow, man, that's intense. Why are people acid? Why do people like acid?
People are insane.
I mean, it's not the good kind of acid. I'd rather get anthrax. That's what chat says. And I think I'm assuming that dance and or drums and bass, or is that what you said it was?
Drum and bass, yes.
Drum and bass. It's just D&B. I'm assuming that's what chat means when that's how we should be referred to it.
D&B.
D&B,
Okay.
not DMB, which I thought he was just saying Dave Matthews Band for a second. Dave Matthews Band.
Matthews.
D&B music. There we go. So if you want to shorten it, you can.
Awesome. So D&B, thank you. Much appreciated, chat. In terms of, I mentioned the charting already. In terms of legacy, again, you mentioned it was listed in the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. So check that one off the list. And The Guardian described it as one of the 50 key events in the history of dance music. So I thought, again, groundbreaking. Like, and I think in our 2025 lens, it is difficult to see that people like probably copied Goldie or are inspired by Goldie, and we just hear so much of this style, or even in pop music today, that it kind of maybe its groundbreakingness gets lost on us a little bit.
I wonder what the other 49, or what the other ones are on that list.
That's true. I don't know. We should. I didn't look
Events.
into
What
it.
is it? What is it again?
One of the 50 key events in the history of dance music. So it's not just albums released, or it's not just artists, it's events.
Okay. I got to look at this.
And chat says it was huge because he brought it to the USA. It did get, it did pop off a little bit, not as it charted in the UK, Sweden, and New Zealand. It did make its way to the United States. It wasn't as big as it was over there.
I wonder if, like, if history of dance music, I'm wondering if that includes like songs that make dances, like the twist or something. You think that's like something that's on there, you know?
Maybe. I learned recently about the twist, and because someone was like, why are there so many songs about the twist? Like, it's just a dumb dance move, and we sang like 50 songs about it like it was groundbreaking. And it's because it was groundbreaking that it was before that, your dancing was partner dancing. There really wasn't the ability to dance individually. So it really kind of revolutionized dancing and dancing by yourself, as opposed to, you don't need a partner, you don't need to be coupled up. It was also really big with the queer community because, again, it kind of breaks those gender norms of partner dancing. So, like, that's really interesting. Never thought about that. So perhaps that's part of it too.
Yeah, and I wonder if like it's big too, or dance music as a whole. Like, again, are we considering like disco? Is disco a part of? Because I mean, those are obviously they're lyrical, but they usually come accustomed with like some dance and dance trends and dance, not just like the hustle or something like that, but you get like Soul Train out of that, and Soul Train. It's all that is only about dancing and the music behind that. So I wonder if that's like part of the history. I don't know. I'm fascinated more with that than I am with Goldie himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's part of a bigger picture. This is one stone thrown into the pond, but it creates a ripple effect. It just didn't ripple towards us.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. So we mentioned earlier, this album does not have a lot of lyrics. Some of these songs are very, very long. Some are long, some are short, 20-minute songs, 6-minute songs, 2-minute songs, a little bit of everything. Do you have notes of the song breakdown? Did any of them stick out to you? Any of them that you want to talk about?
I actually like the ones that I did end up liking were not Timeless, the 20-minute song, which I did find out was like 3 songs put together, and that's why it's so long.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but the 2 right after it, Saint Angel and State of Mind, I ended up enjoying a little bit more than any of the other ones, because I'm gonna be honest, and this will get me probably chastised in the dance music community. It all kind of started to sound the same after a while. And I felt like those 2 songs that I listed were different enough for me to be like, yes, that's good.
Yeah, I listed State of Mind. It's funny, I had the opposite opinion of the was it Saint
Angel?
Saint Angel. Because I remember I was mopping and I turned on the Goldie album, and then I looked down and I go, oh, the song changed. I didn't realize it went from Timeless to Saint Angel. But I did really like State of Mind. I genuinely enjoyed the song. It's one of the only ones on the album that has lyrics, but it's also very positive and upbeat. Like, having about a good state of mind. The person who's singing in this song has a really pretty voice. It's kind of like deeper, and it's kind of soulful.
I was about to say it's very jazzy, and a lot of jazz elements to this song.
Yeah,
it's got horns in there. It's got the singer who sounds like a jazz musician or a jazz singer. And I think it's like also slower, where everything else, and I think this is probably part of the D&B genre, is this that, and this one is not that.
Yeah, it really isn't. This is probably one of the more chill songs on the album.
Yeah. So, and looking at the popularity of the album, it is one of the more popular songs of the, like, it has more plays than any of the other ones, except for Timeless. I think Timeless, the first track, has a lot more. But
yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes sense. It's the first track on the album. It's the title track of the album. So, what other ones you got?
that
was it.
And the only reason I wrote down Saint Angel, and I get why you say like it felt like the same song continued into Saint Angel. I don't know. It was, there's this industrialness behind it. It's like a ran it sound in there that I was kind of digging at the time. But it is 7 minutes of that. And then it kind of gets into some like weird computer elements towards the end of the song. That, I don't know. Again, I was thinking cinematically, and Saint Angel, I was just thinking of like, again, a couple movies come to my mind when I think of this stuff. So I just thought of it in more of a cinematic way. And that one was probably the most cinematic to me.
That makes sense. And again, when you don't have lyrics, or you only have your instruments to rely on, we as the listener tend to fill in the gaps, whether it's through dance moves or it's through, picturing like, oh, this would be good in this kind of scene, or when would I listen to this music? Probably in a chase scene in a movie. Like last week I said, Bjork is great music to choreograph to. I would love to watch some choreography to Bjork music. This is something similar, because again, it's meant to be danced to. It's meant to be not necessarily something you just sit and observe and listen to in the car.
Yeah. I just think about all those. Have you ever seen that video of people that are just dancing in a large group, like out in the middle of the streets? They're usually wearing like Jinko jeans.
Yes. I was like those, like the emo kids who are just like,
Uh-oh, where'd you go? There you are. You went too fast. You're here.
Oh no.
I can hear you. This is so funny. You don't think that I can hear you, but I can hear you. I can definitely still hear you and see you. But that's it. Well, welcome to 52/ the music podcast. There she is.
I'm so sorry.
I could hear you and see you the whole time. Well, except for a little bit. It went
black no.
screen, but
you were totally, because I hung up and called back in. You were totally frozen.
No, nice.
You were just like this, mid freeze on my screen, and I was like, "Oh no!" I mean, you heard me, so good thing I didn't say anything bad about you.
You said sugar.
Sugar. I'm trying to swear less.
Oh, nice. I didn't know we were doing that.
Oh no, that's just on me, because it's been brought to my attention that I swear a lot.
Is that a work thing?
No, it's just in life.
Who told you this?
You.
I told you curse too much? There's no way.
You never said too much. It's just, I was just like, I think I swear a lot. And you were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, that was confirmation. It was more so me telling myself.
Wow, I don't care.
I know you don't care, but I care. Plus, I need to practice for when I am at work, now that I'm sitting and interacting with more humans than I did before. I have to be a little bit more on my P's and Q's. Anyway. So sorry for the interruption. There is one other song that I did want to talk about, because I have feelings about it.
All right,
I have mixed feelings, and it's Sea of Tears.
Sea of Tears.
Do you remember Salty? Do you remember that one?
No. I bet it goes like this.
It's very
like that.
It does. Interestingly, so I at first loved it because it was, again, Sea of Tears. So the music and the backgrounds that's being utilized is literal ocean waves. And I'm just like, ooh, this is so relaxing. And we have these cool ocean vibes. And I kind of dig like there's these over this ocean. But then the tears part came in and there's just a person sobbing. And I went, that's weird. And it was again part of the music. And there's like these ocean waves, and there's a person fully crying. And there's a couple of lyrics in there, but not too many. And then there's the hi-hats. And I'm like, what is happening? So it was a song that I started off really liking. I liked the incorporation of the waves in as an instrument in a way. And then it was like, yeah, the sea of tears. The sea was cool, the tears were not. I was like, why? And this person was just like, and I was like, hello. It was very strange to me. So it was one that I had high hopes for, and then it went sideways.
Wonder if you could study the music like this.
Well, it's something, I mean, I am
Or would that
somebody,
be too like?
I mean, I'm sure somebody does. I can't study the music at all because to me, my brain is always going to go listen to the song, especially if it's got lyrics in it. I am focused on that. I cannot, I'm not someone who can read and have the TV on. I can't read and have music on. Like, I can't be doing two things at once. My brain won't let me. It's got to focus on the one thing that I'd rather be doing, which is not reading. Or you said studying. I said my homework. I had to have full silence to do my homework.
I could not study to this at all.
That's okay.
It's not called study music, is it?
Nope, it's dance music.
Dance.
D and B.
D and B.
So is your favorite song State of Mind? Because that's my favorite song.
Yes, it is. That's my favorite song.
It's a good song. I like that song a lot. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I didn't add it to my liked playlist the way I added It's Oh So Quiet last week.
Yeah.
But I liked it enough. What's your least favorite song?
Any of the other ones that I didn't name.
Dang. It just blurred together. That's unfortunate.
But honestly, like I could sit here and tell you, and I mean, I feel so bad. I really do. Because it does sound the exact same over and over and over. And I'm sure people that are big fans of dance music are probably like, well, the shit you listen to sounds the same over and over. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's why we like it, you know? And this is not my vibe. Like I tried very, very hard this week, guys. I had work. I had a work trip. And I was traveling, where I have specific times to listen to this. I couldn't. I tried.
That's okay. Again, that's part of the project is to explore and find new things that we do like. We had Britpop was a great month, or just
right.
British Invasion was a great month. And then this month is a little different, and that's okay.
A little hard for me.
Chat says most people I know that love this music also love cocaine, and honestly, that is definitely like a vibe. Like this, again, we talked about like jam band. Like those people are high as a kite too.
Just a different vibe, though. They're
just
like
a different vibe. Yeah, it's instead of weed and jam band, it's cocaine and dance music, and I'm like, I get it. Just go nuts.
So maybe if I did some cocaine,
I don't recommend that.
I would like dance music more.
Perhaps you just would need to like move your body, be like, I gotta get this out of me. My least favorite song, I actually had one, was Jaw the Seventh Seal. I hated that one. I was like, I actually did not finish the song. I was like, don't like it. Kept going. I finished every single song.
One of the shorter songs too.
I hated it. I did not like it. I don't know why. It was just the vibe was off. I did listen to the whole album. I liked the album like enough. But to finish, I did not DNF the album, except for that one song. It's like, nope, I can't do this, even though it's short.
When you're listening to that one, if you listen to it with headphones on, it like bounces back and forth between right and left on like the sound.
I think did I make it that far? I listened to it with headphones on. Did I listen to it? Yeah, I did.
It kind of throws off your equilibrium a little bit.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it. I think I was like, what is happening? And then I went, no. I got like a minute in, or like maybe like 45 seconds. I was like, nope, not for me.
Not for you. That's okay.
That's okay. I did pick out some lyrics from State of Mind. Because again, I thought they were really positive and very nice sounding. And it's, I feel warm rain running down my face. I embrace all the love that lies around me. I feel no shame, nothing to erase. I wouldn't change a single day that lies before me. And again, it felt like an affirmation almost. It kind of was a nice little affirmation. Like, again, I embrace all the love that lies around me. I wouldn't change a single day that lies before me. I liked it. Again, really, I did really like that song.
Well,
Yeah.
nice.
So what are your pairings? Mine are stupid. So I want to hear yours first.
So I don't say that. Don't say that they're stupid. They're not
Oh,
stupid.
you haven't heard them yet.
Well, so when I thought about this movie, I think first the one that I said earlier, the Saint Angel, it reminded me of the Fifth Element movie,
Hmm.
which has a very like again like kind of like a dance soundtrack to it, and then there's like some operatic parts to it. So it kind of reminded me of that. Run Lola Run is another movie. It's a European movie, and it's a very good movie. But all of it's like it is about. It's in the title, Lola running around, and literally running. And this is like what I imagined was behind her. It's very
This is Lola.
This is Lola. This is all Lola. I did see that like some of this music, especially Goldie's music, is used in Train Spotting or on the Train Spotting soundtrack anyway.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense a little bit to this. But also any movie by Guy Ritchie, who Goldie has been in some of those movies
Yeah.
that he's been in. Any Guy Ritchie movie, especially like in the like Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels or Snatch, those kind of movies. Not any of his like Sherlock Holmes stuff or anything. Those the ones that take place in like a present time, and specifically in the UK, that's really what I'm thinking of.
That's fair. I like that you paired it with movies. That's really
Yeah,
awesome.
that's all I could do.
I paired it with Bjork. Just because they had a romantic connection. I just kind of thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I also paired it with playing Mario Kart. I there was I don't remember what song it was genuinely, but there was like one or two songs in particular. I'm like, this is Rainbow Road. This is the I mean, it genuinely sounded like something you would hear in a Nintendo game.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
There was a moment where I was like, I wonder if they like commissioned Goldie to make the do 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 da 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 da. I said, obviously that's way more toned down, but
That's
I was
way
like,
chiller.
yeah, it just feels like playing Mario Kart, specifically just being stressed out while trying to like dodge the bananas.
Yeah, this is like hitting on like the Matrix crowd, those people, and that's what chat is kind of referring to with JP and Grandma's Boy, the movie. That guy is this obviously like super nerd who dresses like he is in the Matrix, and this is exactly what he would listen to.
I like it.
Sorry, D&B fans.
Does this pass our what do you think we say our Reality Bites test? Would
No.
the cast of Reality Bites listen to Timeless?
Steve Zahn's character maybe,
Okay.
but only because he's going out to the clubs. He's going out to clubs.
So he doesn't even know that he's listening to it. He's just out in the club scene.
He's just out.
I dig it.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Fair. So are you recommending this to a friend in any circumstance?
No, I don't think so. They would have to tell me I'm into if I had a friend that listened to D&B, I'd like to know. If so, sure. As a history lesson, this is what you should listen to. But other than that, no.
Yeah, I couldn't think of, I mean, again, I mentioned last week that I'm if someone I'd recommend Bjork to someone who was doing choreography, and I kind of touched on it here, but overall, I'm probably not going to recommend this album to somebody. Again, if it's in the 1001 albums to listen to before you die. So if that's on your list, I can have a conversation with you about it. Be like, oh hey, I listened to that one, and go from there. But that's kind of it.
And this pairs well with drugs. Yeah.
Here's what that's your pairing, truly. Is
Yeah,
just if you
it's
want to
drugs.
take drugs and listen to cool music, this is what you want to do. This is all for you. You want to move your body around, not have control over it, go for it.
Yeah, not for me.
What was your 5-star rating?
I gave
Or
it a
out of
2.
out
I gave it
out
a
of
2.
5. Okay.
I
Just a
would
straight up 2.
rather. I'm gonna say this again. I'm being
Okay.
controversial. I would rather listen to that song, that one song by Jewel, over and over than listen to this. The
That's a
one where
bummer.
she says the F word over and over and over again, would rather listen to it than this.
That is insane.
That's how much I did not like it.
That is bad. That is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that is your rating. That is for you, and that is okay.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2.5. It
Oh, okay.
wasn't, I was leaning, I was like, do I want to give it a 2.75? But then I was looking at some of the ones I rated 2.5. I gave the Bends 2.5. I think I enjoyed this technically more. I don't know if I enjoyed this more than the Bends by Radiohead.
Chat's coming after me. Get out of here. How does it get a 2 then? Out of respect for a genre that I don't know.
Well, that's where I was getting with the 2.75. Like, I'm like, again, but I gave it 2.5 because I'm like, I think because I gave 2.5s. One was to Radiohead's The Bends, and the other one was to John Michael Montgomery's self-titled album. And I did I enjoyed John Michael Montgomery's self-titled album, and I don't think I can give Timeless a ranking over it, and that's why it's going down to a 2.5 and not a 2.75. Again, we can appreciate it for what it is, but it's not for us.
If it's I mean, I'm for giving it away. If it was a rating that had nothing to do with respect for a genre that I didn't know, it's a 0.5 for me. It's a 0 for me.
You're never going to come back to it.
I'm never coming back to this. I'm never going to talk about Goldie ever again. And I'm not angry. Don't think that I'm angry, and don't think that I did not waste my time.
Yeah,
but like,
it's just not for you.
It's just not for me.
Well, and that's the thing with and maybe we need to reconsider our rating system, because on 52/movies, we have a 5-star rating for did you like it? And we also have a 5-star rating for how likely are you to rewatch this movie? Out of 5 stars, right? So this might be, this is a 0, a 1 out of 5 in terms of re-listenability. I'm never going to listen to this again. 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5. But in terms of, rating the album itself, maybe it's a 2 or a 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that somebody should start a D&B moniker and it be called Dave Matthews Band, and they put out D&B music. I think that would be very funny.
it'd be great. I'd listen.
And it would be cool if you use samples from Dave Matthews Band songs. So this is a moneymaker here to all those people that know how to do that. This is it. This is
wink,
how you
wink.
wink. This is how you do that. So do
Hilarious. Well, Cody, is there anything that we need to add?
I got nothing. I mean, what have you been listening? Have you listened to anything else recently?
Have I?
I mean, this took 2 hours of your life.
It did. I mean, it took the entire time I was mopping, and then some. No, I don't think I've actually listened to. I was on today listening to my top songs of 2017, that playlist from Spotify. That was fun. Little blast from the past. But yeah, I haven't really had anything. I gave a couple of recommendations of songs last week, but yeah, this took a lot of time. So no, I haven't really listened to too much music. What about you?
I had to sit in a car with an elderly person for 2 hours, and so somebody in my car insisted on playing like Mariah Carey and Kelly Clarkson, and that other person in the car shit all over that. And I was like, you got to play music that he understands. So I just listened to Tom Petty radio, which was a good time. So that's like the most music that I've listened to recently is songs that are on Tom Petty radio.
Okay.
Which, take what you want from that. If you don't like Tom Petty, I mean, Tom Petty's great, but it's good. Tom Petty Radio.
On Betty Radio. There you go.
I was
I had
accommodating an old person.
That's okay. I was listening. I did, again, I said it last week. I added It's Oh So Quiet to my liked list. So I listened to that a couple times in the last week because that's my kind of new fun song that I've been listening to.
And I've been, I have a playlist on Spotify that is for me 2001 to 2005. I just called it Teen Movie. And it's got some great stuff on there. A lot of like that era, White Stripes and the Strokes and the Shins and Modest Mouse and a lot of stuff that came out during that time that I was listening to. It's a little bit different than my emo playlist, but yeah, that's what I've really been listening to.
I like it.
Getting back to my roots,
Getting back to my roots.
I showed up in Croots.
Showed up in Croots. All right. Well, anything else to add?
I don't think so.
No, short.
That's it. What is next week? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ask you.
No.
Yeah, tell me everything. Tell me about next week.
I'll say so. Yeah, we're doing this every week, y'all. So before I announce next week's, if you are interested in any more information, if you are interested in the podcast, if you want to chat with us, we do have a 52niverse in the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, we're happy to have you. We'd love to hear from you. We talk about music and movies and different recommendations. We post trailers that are coming out. We've also got an Instagram, and that's where we make announcements like, hey, we're not going to be doing this on Tuesday. We're going to do this on Thursday. So feel free to follow us in either space. Next week, we are going to be covering, and actually you mentioned the artist not a little while ago, the album Everything Is Wrong by Moby. So that is that is our final pop/dance album of the month of the year. For wrapping up the month next week. Again, Everything Is Wrong by Moby is next week's stream. So if you are someone who follows along and listens along, do come back next week, chat with us in the chat. And thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Cody, for joining me. And we will see y'all next time on 52/19.